I had no money in my pocket, which, I mean, I'm not rich now either, but I had no money. Like, I love gangster rap. Like, I listen to so much gangster rap. Like, my place of creativity comes from a lot of pain with losing what you think you're losing. When you're losing things or situations, you're actually gaining yourself. But in the moment, you don't feel like you are. You are the reason I am diving in.
All right, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Icon Presents. Today, I am joined by the incredible, amazing singer-songwriter Blythe Vermillion. Nice to meet you. How you doing today?
Nice to meet you. I'm good.
That's
How about
great.
yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I checked out your some of your newer projects, and obviously, Icon has had some done some work with you. And so that's how I kind of got introduced to your music and everything. So when I put this project together, and they were like, hey, you think you want to have Blythe on the show? I was like, of course we're going to have Blythe on the show. We're definitely going to do this. So I'm excited about this. To start off, I want to get to know you a little bit. So tell me about your musical journey. How'd you get into music?
Well, I think I've always been into music.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandmother used to tell a funny story that when I was like 3 years old, they had a karaoke machine and that she was afraid I was going to get electrocuted because I would put the microphone up to my mouth and just be drooling in the microphone, trying to hold a note.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And she said that she just knew like singing was definitely going to be a thing for me. So, and ever since I can remember, I've just loved it. Like Disney movies, you know, I'd be in the bathtub swishing around, pretending I was Little Mermaid. But I think when I really started taking it serious and actually putting out content was about 6 years ago. Okay,
got you. What was that kind of point for you? What changed in that past 6 years?
Well, I had wanted to do it earlier and kind of dabbled in it, did a little live things here and there. And then I tried the whole married life and, you know, kind of put it on the back burner. Got a few like bad tastes in my mouth with, you know, people that weren't as serious or, you know, male producers being a certain way. And it made me not want to do it anymore. And then I had a spiritual awakening kind of. Like I had kind of like the dark night of the soul. I had some pretty heavy things happen in my life, a few losses, a few self-realizations. And I just kind of like realized that it was really time for me to do what like I know I was always supposed to do. I
got you. Yes. Yeah. I mean, nothing like loss in life makes you kind of look and reflect, self-reflect. Absolutely. And be like, hey, you got to seize the day. What is it saying? Carpe diem. Yeah. Right? You got to seize the moment. Got to make the best of the time that we have here.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like with losing what you think you're losing, when you're losing things or situations, you're actually gaining yourself. But in the moment, you don't feel like you are. Yeah. But like when I look in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I gained who I was really supposed to be and I lost what didn't matter. Not everything didn't matter. There were some people I lost in my life, like deaths. And but what I'm saying is like all the things that once mattered, I realized, you know.
No, I get it. It makes sense because every experience that we have in life shapes us, right? Every interaction that you have shapes you, and those things, you carry those things with you, and that becomes who you are and how you treat people and kind of the decisions that you make in life. So it's understandable, especially when you're looking at something that's so influenced by personal experience, such as music. That's an art that really, you can't really treat art like it's just a regular job where you just do things, right? That's one of the biggest issues that a lot of music and that products that are out these days is that it doesn't resonate with people, you know, emotionally and spiritually. You have to have things that come directly from you and that are inspired from those projects. So that's great. How would you say that those experiences translate to your music when you go
as far as that whole spiritual awakening goes?
Exactly.
So I'm speaking for myself, but I feel like I can say this for a lot of artists that my place of creativity comes from a lot of pain.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily mean that like I feel like I deserved pain or that I'm a victim. It just means that like my pain and my experiences, my hardships, my encounters with just different people have inspired it. It's made me feel like singing is a way for me to express myself in a healthy way. Writing is a way for me to say what's on my mind without going and being a crazy person.
I got you.
Getting my licks in on people or like whatever, you know. I feel like I can get my lick in harder if I just have something to say and then everybody likes it later. You know, it's like they have to hear it over and over.
Right.
And I'm like,
right. It's like putting a diss track on a record. It's like it's in there.
Right.
Everybody's like, oh,
and for me, it's like overcoming that pain. Like writing my songs is healing for me. And like my idea is to heal myself and then heal others by them not just hearing my music, but watching me heal myself doing something that I love and that I feel like I was born to do. And I want other people to feel like they can do that and also resonate with what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you say who were you kind of your musical influences?
Oh man. It's so big, but I could tell you my favorite artist of all time, Tom Petty.
Okay.
Tom Petty, hands down. I just think he's such a good writer. He may not have what one would say like the strongest voice, but his writing comes from his heart. Stevie Nicks is another one, which is funny because he's written some things for her and they've actually done songs together. But we can go anywhere, you know. We can go down the rabbit hole with this.
I got you.
Bob Dylan.
Oh, okay, obviously.
I like hip hop. You wouldn't believe it. I actually listen to a lot of gangster rap.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like I love gangster rap. Like really? I listen to so much gangster rap, like when I'm working out, when I'm riding in my car alone. And I'm like, it's so funny because I don't rap. I don't write gangster music, but like I am influenced by it.
I got you. Yeah.
I feel like it puts me in a, you know.
It definitely will put you in a different headspace. And
it gets me going.
Yeah.
It gets me going.
There's a lot of energy that comes from rap, hip hop, and different levels to that as well. So I get it. How would you describe your music though?
Oh, you mean genre-wise?
Yeah, like what I love to have people do is, okay, I've never heard anything and you were introducing yourself to me for the first time. And I was like, okay, I tend to listen to maybe some R&B, some soul, maybe some country, rock, gospel music, and all of that. That's usually my wheelhouse of music, right? And you were telling me or pitching me your music. Okay. Give me that pitch.
It's I would say it's along the lines of it can meet with ethereal pop. It can even be rock, maybe a little Americana. I think what most people mistake it as is like goth music.
Right.
And because usually they take my visuals and immediately think evil, dark, goth.
You do have some very interesting visuals.
She's a devil worshiper. Like, and it's like, no, I think that I have a very eclectic sound. You go listen to one song and you go listen to another song, it's going to be a completely different sound. And it's because I write what the hell I want to write and I write in the mood that I'm in. So you could even find a song that sounds like country.
That's awesome.
and I want to say, like, I honestly can do all of them. So why not? And so I'm pretty much a little bit of everything. But if you I think if you Google, it says like pop, rock, Americana.
Yeah, I tried it. It was like, I was like, I don't know.
It changes though.
It's one of those things where it's hard to put people in a bubble. It's like, or put it in a box. It's like, okay, you don't have a specific lane that you stay in. It's like, hey, you write a song that you want. No. I mean, I love it. I love it. It's like when I'm working on music, it's like I'll write something and my wife cracks me up because she'll be like, what type of song is this? I'm like, it's a song that I felt like writing. Right. that's basically
because you're channeling it from something else, you know, like we're just, I mean, artists, you, whoever's writing is the messenger. There's a message that's being sent and we're like the antenna, and it's not my fault if that day I'm writing a country song.
Exactly.
Or if I'm, singing some kind of Americana, like who knows,
How would you say so you had mentioned your visuals. Sometimes people will kind of be like, oh man, she's a devil worshiper because of her visuals. How would you say your visuals and your music, because you have a very unique aesthetic when it comes to your music? What inspires that for you?
So like I was kind of touching on with you earlier about my music kind of being what my hardships, you know, represent or whatever. I feel like in my life, for me, when I would see something visual, it tells a story. Like the greatest ones on MTV or whatever kind of told a story, you know? And for me, like I'm attracted to something more visual. So if I can't tell you every word in the song, I'm going to tell you the rest of it visually.
I got you.
So when, for instance, like I have a song called Black Over Everything that Jamie Farthing helped me do. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it was kind of about dating somebody that had a really strong addiction to, you know, opiates and whatnot, and how it kind of like ate me up secondhand, even though I wasn't even the one doing the drug. So I saturated myself in this syrup that we went and got, and we we dyed it black, and it showed me like drowning in the syrup, and the song was called Black Over Everything. So I wanted to visually come across like, okay, I'm singing about it, but this is how I felt in my soul when this was happening. Like what you see is like what I was feeling, wasn't what I was.
Right.
And that's where people confuse me as like, because I'll have horns or I'll have, sometimes people will confuse me at that. And so I'll be like, this is what you see, but I'm actually overcoming a darkness.
I got you.
So that's kind of where I try to depict, you know, my visuals.
So you have, because you have a wide range of, like you've done a good amount of music videos. I would like 14
I
music
think so,
videos,
somewhere around
something like that. Can you say any of them were like your particular favorite, like of your entire body of work?
Yeah, I think Wings to Wax was one of my favorites. It was the one that I did with Icon.
Yeah, that was a very interesting one.
Yeah, that one I think was really amazing because not just the production, but just everybody that was involved was so involved. And it took me like 8 or 9 months to make my costume. I make all my own costumes.
That's awesome.
So I do have a friend that will sew here and there for me, but when it comes to like designing the headpieces and everything, but that one was a lot of fun because everybody, like having so many people involved and a part of one thing, and I'm sitting there and it's like surreal, and I'm like, wow, I'm the soundtrack right now to everybody's art and passion.
Right.
Because what they do is something they already do. And I get to kind of like be the soundtrack to that.
Right.
I don't typically say, oh, I'm the center of attention. It's all about me. It's more like an honor to be able to sing and portray other people's art. So that made it really fun for me. And obviously, like Icon did an amazing job editing it.
Yeah, that was
then
interesting.
I think probably my other favorite one. That's hard. I think it's going to be my first one I ever did.
Which one was that?
Which was Fairy Tale.
Okay.
And the reason it is quick. I'll just give you a quick rundown.
Go for it.
I had no money in my pocket, which, I mean, I'm not rich now either, but I had no money. I literally picked whatever I could and went to this little tree out where I grew up. And it was just me and the camera guy and little pair of little wings I had. And just remembering like how I literally had nothing and we just turned nothing into something with just little things.
Yeah.
So for me, that's always going to be special.
I got you.
Not even for the visuals, nothing.
Yeah.
It's just, it was the first video I did because I had played something on Instagram. He goes, let me shoot a quick video for you. And I'm like, I don't have a song. He's like, you better go record a song. So I took an old song, and so that one's dear to my heart.
I got you. So tell me about your live performance. Do you do any live performances where people can kind of come see you?
I have. I wouldn't say right now that I'm actively doing it, but it's supposed to be happening 2024 this year.
Okay.
I do have a backing band finally.
Okay.
They're amazing human beings. My drummer, Derek Overby, my guitarist who's here today, Vaughn Ramirez.
Yeah.
And recently, a friend of mine named Richard, he plays bass.
Okay.
He just joined, which is amazing. We're going to be starting to play some local stuff, some stuff in LA. just some kind of like up the coast kind of things.
Okay.
Booking here and there gigs, maybe once a month. And we're looking to do that starting in March.
Nice.
So I'm excited because I do like to perform live.
Okay, cool.
That was something I didn't like in the beginning, though.
Yeah?
I was scared to do.
I'm gonna tell you, live performances, it's interesting. So I've done a good amount of live performances like my entire life. And there's one thing, it's like that moment that, like, it's funny because I was talking with Gabe and we were talking about how when there's a switch that kind of gets flicked anytime you're actually about to hit the stage.
It's true.
It's like, there's like, for me, one of the most surreal moments for me was performing at the House of Blues. And like right before you walk out on stage.
Congratulations,
right?
That's an accomplishment.
Thank you. Yes, it was great. But it's like you have the band and they're going. And then it's like, alrighty, the rest of the members are all out on stage, and I was leading the first song. And so I remember I was younger too, and I remember I used to dance and sing and all that stuff at the same time. And I remember you go out there and then that music is going, and you go out there and there's just all those people there, and you're like, let's go. And it's an energy, like, and that's one of the beautiful things about live performances. It's like you feed off of that energy.
It's true.
And there's
and
nothing
the adrenaline,
quite like it.
The
exactly.
adrenaline you get, it's like you better. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I feel like my voice crisps up, and
right.
I feel like I just am where I'm supposed to be. But at first I was afraid. I was more afraid with less people.
Yeah.
Like more intimate settings.
Yeah, that's true.
It would scare me.
I
Like open mic nights, things like that. I was just like, ew.
I think it's funny because for me, since I've been on the side of performing live, playing bass, as well as performing live, like singing,
right?
There's a difference for me. It's like, it's not like, oh yeah, you did one, so you can do them both. Like, nah, it's not the same thing. Like, for whatever reason, I think it's whatever one I'm more confident in myself in.
Right.
So it'll be like, okay, I can do the singing a bit more than I can do when it comes to bass playing.
Right.
And I think that's because you can't really hide behind anything too much when you are singing. So it's like you have to like push and go through.
Absolutely.
Right? The bass, you can push, you can fall back a little bit, but it's also a big driver in there. So it's like, if I mess up on a song, like minorly, you can keep it pushing. But if you mess up on the bass, minorly, that might throw off the drummer.
Everybody's else, upset.
It's like that. At least everybody else that knows the song can keep going. But
a good bass player is very essential, and I think it's underrated. I don't think everybody feels this way, but I think it's very underappreciated. Each instrument is very needed, but bass players, they're like, it's a necessary thing to have a good bass line and to have someone that can find that bass line and ride the song and carries it.
Exactly. Carry the groove for it. And that's what you want. So tell me about your songwriting journey, I'll put it that way. Because you have a vast amount of songs. One of your, we talked about one of your ones that personally I became very fond of, called Poison Apples, right? And it's like, because you showcase your voice a lot in that song and everything. But what inspired like a song like that, or Wings to Wax, and or that when you're writing those type of songs, what inspires you for that?
What inspires me? Well, each one is a little bit different. Depends on what mood I'm in, what it's about, who it's about.
I got you.
You know, it just really depends. For Wings to Wax, I think Wings to Wax was a time where I was feeling not defeated, but I was feeling like the odds were against me.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to back down. Like, whatever comes at me, like, I don't care if I'm like visually or spiritually riding this horse almost dead, I'm going to keep riding.
Right. Okay.
So that was kind of where that came from. And it was, you know, like part of the song talks about like cast out through the ages, led by the moonlight. Like I believe like to appreciate the light, you have to be in the darkness. And what I meant by that was like, you know, having all these situations in my life where I felt cast out or ostracized, or that odds were against me, that I learned to be able to see with just the moonlight. I learned to be able to appreciate the darkness and become the light.
Nice.
And so that's kind of like where that one came from.
Okay, got you. And that Poison Apples song.
Okay.
For me, Poison Apples, I'm thinking Sleeping Beauty. I'm thinking...
until you hear it.
Yeah, exactly. And then it becomes a whole different thing. But off of the aesthetic, I was like, wait, that's quite not there. So tell me, what is that?
It's your typical pissed off, jealous girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah.
It's, you know, like... It's a time where like you're laying down with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Mine was my ex at the time, and you're just talking, and they, you know, like your boyfriend or girlfriend brings up their ex or says, "Oh, when I used to," and you go, "Oh no, there was never nobody before me."
Right? He was like, "This happened." You never knew anybody else. That's great.
So, that was what that was about. Is like I hate the thought of other ones before me.
Yeah.
And then, oh, don't talk like that. You're just being insecure. No, I'm not. I don't want to hear about anybody else before me. So that's kind of where it came from. But obviously, I wasn't angry. Right. It was more just a funny talk. Like, no, I was the only one. And then I started getting inspired to write a song about it. I was like, you know, there's so many like women and men, but women in particular for this one. It's a feminine kind of perspective.
Right.
But it's just about, you know, just wanting to be the only one, like wanting to be the light of the sunshine in someone's life, a ray of sunshine.
Right. The video on that song is very interesting. So because it looks like one of the ones where you went back to talk about your first video, the video for Poison Apples. That one looked like it was very simple, but it was made, and it kind of focused more so on the lyrics than the visuals of it. So you have the whole green kind of filters on there and kind of the different lights and all that stuff. But then it's like, okay, there's a window right there. It looks like there's a door. It's like, and it's very straight on, which makes it very intimate. That's
like, what we were kind of like going for, was a very like just rock right up in your face kind of thing. But it happened right when COVID was happening. Okay. We did it in a warehouse, a warehouse that was turned into like a mini sushi bar that soon after it got shut down. Unfortunately for COVID, but they let us use that area. And then we drove out to Ocotillo. And I just got some little things that I had up in the closet and put it on and walked across the dunes and got some apples and spray painted them and just got wild, you know, and just like, we wanted it to be kind of just like out there, just whatever, nothing too crazy, just enough to get the message across. Right.
When you talk about your message, and you had talked previously about how a lot of your music is inspired by the challenges that you're dealing with in your life, right? Feelings that you're having. And then we connect the visuals to it. When the image looks dark, it's more so about how you're feeling on the inside rather than what somebody is seeing. Because that's a lot of times you never know what somebody's dealing with on the outside. But you kind of give your audience a peek into a look inside of you as to what you're dealing with. Which is very empowering for a lot of people to do that. How would you say it's like, because you had mentioned prior about, the whole empowerment through music, and it is an empowering, a very powerful medium. What's the message that you want people to get when you're listening to it? Do you want them to feel empowered? Do you want them to feel inspired? How do you want your audience to feel?
I want them to feel however the hell they want to feel. Like honestly, like even if you listen to it and you like the song, but you think I'm something I'm not, like that's on them. You know, like that's on you.
I got you.
But I do. I mean, I would like to think people would feel inspired. I really want. I think I'm going to touch on that for a second. I want people to know that first and foremost, everything I ever write about is true. Okay. Everything I ever. No one can ever write a good song that's not true. Right. It's not going to be good if it's not true. And I want people to know that like you can make something out of nothing. And you can, if you're authentic to yourself and you write about your real experiences, it's gonna work. And also it's gonna be okay. You have to believe in yourself and your vision. And that's like the message I want. It's beyond music. It's beyond my message. Like me as a person, like I want people to really know, like I'm coming still from like nothing. And like, if you really believe in yourself and you want to speak your mind, just do it through your art.
Right.
That's what I would really like people to know about me.
Do you ever look back at some of your older projects and think like, man, like, I know for me personally, if I write a song, sometimes I come back to it. Like I recently did this. I come back to a song that I written some time ago and I'm like, yeah, this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. Or you look at how you felt or what kind of emotions and things that you said in that maybe you don't necessarily agree with that now, but that might have been how or resonated with how you were feeling at that time. Oh, yeah. Do you ever look back at that and be like, you know what? If I were going through that now, I would deal with this differently, or I'd write this song differently?
I have quite a few songs, yes, that I have in my archives, like probably 200 or so. And there are some that I hear and I go, damn, I was angry. Woo, someone could have got it.
Yeah.
But no, I'm actually like, honestly, when I go back and listen to an old song, I feel inspired all over again to like take what I wrote, but like put a new twist on it, but really keep the core like meaning behind it.
I got you.
Because I feel like it meant something to me at one point, so it's going to always mean something to me. And it's kind of like looking at where I was and where I am now.
Right.
So I can appreciate it. But yeah, I could hear some sass or some attitude or some, I can definitely hear like on an artist standpoint, like singing wise, like how much my voice has grown.
Okay.
Like how much more confident I've become in my voice. Cause I used to have this idea that I needed to sound like a Disney character.
Okay.
And I would try to really mask like the little rasp or wispiness in my voice.
Yeah.
And I would try to hit these notes that like just weren't for me.
Yeah.
And then finally I just said, I'm just gonna go for it. So that's I would take those songs where I sound very meek and very like afraid to project. And I am doing that. I actually have some songs that I'm doing that with, where now when I sing them, I'm like, that's why I never put it out.
That's, you know what? That's what I love. Yeah. I love when, because like I've said this before, and I might have said this on different podcasts. I hate to repeat myself, but it is what it is. When an artist, because I mean, everybody knows Taylor Swift, right?
Right.
When an artist like
great artist, by the way.
Yeah, agree to disagree. Okay. No, I'm kidding. No, she's a talented singer and songwriter. Music doesn't vibe with me as much, but it is what it is. Right. I can't imagine myself sitting there bumping Taylor Swift.
Oh no, I know, but I think from a writing perspective,
exactly from an objective perspective, 100%. Now, I will say, back a couple years ago, I think she had got the rights to her music back, right? And so she released a new. Okay, so she was, and she released an album that was like her version of her like hits, right? And so you just had a bunch of them. In my opinion, they were actually not the better ones.
Not the better ones?
Correct. So what I mean by that is when I compared her version from a producer and engineer's standpoint, when you listen to her version of the songs, and then when you listen to the originals actually sounded better to me. And then and I can understand why this certain
meaning
certain
their
changes,
original?
Their original,
okay, yeah.
Right? And so when her original producer did it, not like she was doing covers of other people's stuff, but I'm saying like the original version of her song versus the new version of her song.
I can agree with some of that. I can see what you're saying, and I think that's where we have to remember to appreciate producers and people with that ear and that talent. Without a good producer, what are you really gonna? That's not my job, you know. Like in the words of Mac Dre, not my job.
There's a. I remember when that show Empire came out. It was with Taraji P. Henson and the dude. I cannot think of his name right now. He was a main character. Gosh, I can't stand the fact that can't recall his name. But the opening scene of that show, he's producing this this artist, and she's singing this song. It's like, if I tell you that I love you tonight, and she goes through, and then he was like, I need you to sing, like, and like really just pulls it out of her, right? And then like she does it, and I remember it was so funny because on social media everybody was trying to be that role, right? Because that's what you wanted to do. That was like highlighting the producer. But it's true. It's like, it's very a lot of times if you have a good producer, exactly. Like if you have somebody that can take you to that next level, then you can then you really pull what people don't know within them and pull them out. Now you said that's happened to you.
Oh yeah. That's happened to me countless times, but I have two that I remember.
Okay.
One is my guitarist, like we're working on a song and we did one version and it was a softer version of it. And then he comes into the studio with his version, which is amazing. Yeah. And he goes, can you just, the funny part is he pulls out a Mariah Carey song, first of all. And I said, boy, I was like, never in a million years am I going to sound like Mariah Carey.
Right. You ain't going to hit that note?
Never. She's a whole nother caliber. Right. I respect her vocals. And I just laughed, right? But he goes, well, what I'm saying is, can you just go in there and like cry, scream it? Like, and I was like, okay, I'll try. I went in and I did. I came out sweating. I was sweating in that box.
You left it all in there.
And he goes, that was it. And my producer's like, yes. You know, and that was one time. And then that was what I was saying, how my voice came to be more strong because my producer, Steve Vicious, by the way. Okay. I have to shout him out. He's in everything. He's amazing. Nice. He goes, well, why don't you let it out a little more? And I went in there and I let it out on this song. I think it was actually Poison Apples because when I originally wrote Poison Apples, I wrote it in falsetto.
Oh, okay, got you. That would have been a whole different energy.
I don't know how I got this way. And then he goes, why don't you like get in there? I know you can do it. You did a little bit on Crown. Yeah. So I did it. I just went in there and did it. And I come out and he turns all the way in his chair and he goes, okay, Pat Benatar. And that was when I think it was like level unlocked.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. If Poison Apples was released like that, I'm like, okay, it doesn't translate that emotion.
It wouldn't have been as powerful. It would have been like, you know?
That's great.
Now, some artists can get away with doing that. You have your Lana Del Rey's and your Billie Eilish, you know? Yeah. Great. Sounds beautiful. It fits them. But I think I've realized that like I can scream a little bit.
I don't think I've ever heard Billie Eilish sing anything that like really pushed her voice.
She has something.
She does?
I heard a song and I can't think of it on the top of my head, but she does project in one and she does pretty good.
Does she? Got you. Her brother that does a lot of the composition and all that. Obviously, they work together
which
on a lot of stuff.
Really cool.
Right, exactly. Having that family dynamic is pretty cool. But I remember my first song that I ever heard of hers. I was on my way to AT&T, and that's where I was working. And the what song was it? Man, it was one. It was super,
Ocean Eyes, Crown.
It was one of those ones that was like super bass heavy. And
like you should see me in a crown.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I was
like, a good one.
I was like, man, and it was different. So that's what kind of really.
She has a lot of catchy stuff.
Yeah, and it kind of like.
So some people can get away with that, you know, but there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with realizing later that you can unlock something else. It's all about like your delivery. And. You know,
so. You never know. You know, it's what people bring out of you. Collaboration kind of brings that out of you.
Absolutely.
And that's what's great, whether it be storytelling or music or just about anything. It could be even cooking. You get those different perspectives.
So when add a little more pepper, you'll see.
Right? You take it to that next level. So talking about collaboration, do you have any artists or producers or anybody out there that you're like, oh man, I wish I could work with this person?
That I wish I could work with. Jeez.
Or that you may have some projects.
Some of them are dead already.
Oh gosh.
That's really hard. Producer wise, I don't know. I'm always open to trying new things. Artist wise, God, Stevie Nicks.
Okay.
She's here still, man. I'd probably sell a toe. Just one toe, though. I'd be like, here, take my toe.
The baby toe. Now, okay, so Stevie Nicks would be your dream artist to collaborate with. Got you.
Stevie Nicks is
so
incredible.
You ever written a song and thought like, oh man, it's too bad. Like I can't get her on the project now?
Yeah, I have. It's not out though.
Yeah,
it's just a song that's sitting there waiting to happen. It's called Ragdoll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's gonna happen. The song will happen. Not this. The Stevie Nicks part not gonna happen.
Hey, you never know. You never know. You're on Icon Presents. This makes
you never know.
Right. That's in my mind. That's where we're at.
She's witchy. She might just appear right now.
Right. Exactly. Just show up. Got you. So, what are you working on now that you can tell us?
Let's see. Let me think about all my traumas. So I have 3 music videos that I plan on doing this year.
Okay.
One is a song that I'm working on called Blazing Trails. I'm talking back and forth with one of my friends that does videography. We want to do it kind of like up in the sequoias or something cool like that. And then I have this other song that Vaughn, my guitarist, and I are working on. Obviously, we're going to do it with the whole band.
Yeah.
It's called Safe to Say. And then there's one that I'm working on that I'll be doing a little surprise performance today for.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even released yet.
Okay.
That one's called Here to Stay.
Okay.
And it's acoustic. It's going to have lots of harmonies. I'm actually currently looking for a male vocalist to put on it. And I have a few contenders out in Tennessee, Nashville. Nice. One is he's got a beautiful voice. I don't want to say names though, because I don't want to like volunteer them if they're not for sure going to be on it. But their voice is really good. So that's my plan right now.
Okay.
I have so many songs though that I'm never stopping. That's just what's up right now. Okay. And then as soon as those are done, it's like, here we go again.
Do you go into the song first and just like do you go, I'll rephrase that. I'll say, do you have the approach? Are you looking at the video, like considering like the video ideas at the same time as you're writing the song? Or do you write the song and you're like, okay, I need to get some videos out there. Let me look at my library and see what I want to do.
I think usually, I'm thinking about it. Usually when I do it, I'll write the song or have the song, and then I'll take my demo version to my producer. And once the beat starts cracking or the vocals are coming in pretty good, I will see a vision.
Yeah.
I'll start to be like, oh shit, I gotta do that. That would be sick. And then I'll call my video guy or a friend that's like involved, and they'll be like, what if we did this? And then I go back to the studio, and as it kind of builds as it goes, you know? And then once the song's completely done, I'll like hear it until I hate hearing myself, obviously. And then I'll be like, okay, writing it out. This is the plan. This is how it's going to be. That's for like one that's a little more extreme, like Wings to Wax was very thought out, you know? But then there's Poison Apples where it's like, I'm just going to have these props and I'm just going to wing it. You know, sometimes it works, but that's really typically my process.
I got you. So the song that you're doing for us today, what was the name of it?
Here to Stay.
Here to Stay.
Yeah.
Got you. Can you tell me a little bit about that song?
Yes. So that song was actually written probably about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
And
so it was COVID song?
It was written a little bit before COVID.
Okay.
And I was in a relationship then that I'm no longer in. And that song was written for that person, and that person was a really good guitar player. And so I came to him with the song that I kind of had already going. And the plan was to originally have him play the guitar, and that was the song I wrote. And it was like to him. And the reason it was written is because we had our ups and downs, you know, like, and it was like, I felt like I was constantly trying to explain to this person that like, I'm not going anywhere. Like the more you make me feel uncomfortable and unsafe, I'm going to go. But like, why can't you just see that like, we're in this together? Like we're not against each other.
Right.
I'm here for you. It was like, I could never get that through this person's head.
I got you.
And so I wrote that song. It came from a very emotional place. It came from my heart. And it's funny, my guitarist actually said, because I sent him over, first I brought it into my producer and he just used a digital guitar. And my guitarist, when he listened to it, he says to me when he sees me, he goes, I got this stuff written. He goes, I just set my guitar down. I started to cry. And I was like, like if you could get somebody to kind of tear up, then it's like I would tear up when I was writing it.
That's emotion. That's the ultimate emotional response.
Yes, because I meant it. I meant everything I was saying, you know? And so it's comes from a very heartbreaking experience. I still get sad over the whole thing. Not because I miss the person in a way like, oh, I want the it's more just like that experience and how serious and intense it was and how much I meant what I was telling this person and they just never believed me.
I got you. Well, with that being said, are you ready to share it with us?
Sure, yeah, awesome. I'd love to.
All right, let's do it. So stay tuned. Icon presents Blythe Vermillion.
Hey. You don't have to be alone. Together we can weather the storm. You're never gonna be on your own. Home is wherever you go. You're not alone. I can be a saving grace. I can take you from this place. I wanna take away all the pain, shelter you from the rain. I'm here to stay. I'm not going away. Take you from this place. I wanna take away all the pain, shelter you from the rain. I'm here to stay. I'm not going away.
Well, that was amazing. That was amazing. Name of the song again was
Here to Stay.
Here to Stay. That's nice. Are you guys going to be putting that out anytime soon? Is it out now?
It's going to be coming out. Like I said, that's one that might have another. I want it to be a duet.
Okay.
So the extended version has a whole space for a verse.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there's still harmonies and all kinds of stuff that are. Man. But it is going to come out. It's going to be out this year.
The Icon exclusive.
Yeah, whether it comes out just me and then later a duet happens.
Yeah.
If it just, I'm putting it out regardless. I've already told these artists that I'm looking to work with, like, hey, I'm on a timeline. So, and some of them are like, well, let me hear it when it's a little more. No. I don't want it to be completely developed yet because I want their input.
Right.
So if that's not the person, then it's not the person.
Yeah, it is what it is, which can always be challenging, that collaboration, that working with people. Artists are hard people to work with sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like they have to see for a really long time that you believe in yourself before they will.
True, 100%.
It's just the way it is.
It's funny, even with inviting people onto the podcast, one of the things I've learned is that a lot of times, like before we launched the project, I was like, hey, I have this new show coming out. And then people kind of waited until to see like whether or not I was serious about it before they even like would give me an answer.
I don't like that.
It's like
I'm kind of a jerk when it comes to that. Like, I'm like, if you didn't want to be around then, you ain't gonna be around now. That's just like, me. But
I get it. It's like, for me, it was all about, because I do understand this speculation when it comes to like jumping in and just saying yes.
Right,
to
because it's
things.
Their brand. It's their image.
It's like, okay, do I want to? It's funny. I had people coming into the studio and they'd be like, I've never been over here and I wasn't quite sure, especially a studio in Escondido is not always the easiest thing to find. And then if you do find it, the difference finding a nice studio in Escondido that's actually
just the word Escondido might
exactly just the fact that you say it's in Escondido may throw people off. But then it's funny because Gabe El Taib, the comic book artist that was on here, he told me, he was like, I gotta be honest, when I was driving up here, he was like, am I going to this dude's apartment? Am I going to just like some room where we're just gonna be sitting there in his bedroom talking? Right. You never know.
Yeah, it's true.
I understand the hesitation.
I get that on your end. Yeah, I do. I think for songs though, it's like, do you want the whole song developed or do you want a say? Do you want to write a verse? Do you want to be a part of building it?
And how much creative input do you actually want to have?
Well, yeah, for like, and for me, like, one thing I will never allow anybody to do is to take away my creative freedom. So I try really hard, even with my friends / band members, because they're always my friends first. But I always try to leave room for their creativity. Like, I don't like to dictate. Yeah, you know, I try to. I feel like it just comes out better.
That's good.
So that's why I'm like that when it comes to. And then I don't like when people want to wait. Like, oh, I didn't do it then, but now I'm going to do it now that all the work's done. No,
now
you need to do some work too.
If you weren't in when you were struggling. Then
if you weren't answering my call when I was struggling, don't call me now.
What would you say would be your biggest challenges when it comes to your music production level and songwriting? Biggest challenge.
Like, you mean just production in general?
Overall, as a musician,
videos, music.
Overall. You have those things that are like just your bane of your existence that you have to deal with. What would you say would be that biggest hurdle?
Money.
Yeah.
every starving artist answer, money.
I got you.
Because, you know, like, that saying, it takes money to make money. No, it takes money to not make money. Like, as an artist,
that's true.
It's like, sometimes you're not, I do it because I love it. But money is the hardest part because obviously, I've had some very good friends and amazing people that do believe in me, that have bent over backwards and made shit happen when it just, sorry, I cussed, made it happen with literally nothing, you know? But you still got to pay people for their time. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, so money is like studio time, you know, paying for edits or whatever, it's mixing, expensive. Mastering. That costs money.
Yeah, it's an expensive
So I think that's my biggest hurdle is money. So I'm always trying to be resourceful. I'm always trying to help people in return in ways. And I'm a big believer in bartering and allowing, giving other people like creative freedom and platform and shout outs. And because not all of us are like born into a bunch of money or have dads that are already rock stars or no offense to those people.
Yeah,
like,
I get
if you're talented, you're talented, but we're not all like that.
Right.
We're not cut from that
I just had an interview with Matt Black, and they do crowdfunding for some of their projects. So they use Indiegogo and Kickstarter.
I'm not sure if I know exactly what that is.
Basically, now I'm very new into the crowdfunding arena, but essentially what it is basically, and the best way to do it is to have the project already done. And then that way you don't have your backers basically kind of waiting forever, because then they start losing motivation and they'll be slow to back you again. But essentially what they do is they take the project that they're working on, right? They have their new album and the album's done, but they have the vinyl covers and everything that are going for it. And so then, but that costs a lot of money to produce that. Right. It's a lot cheaper just to put it out on streaming and all of that stuff. So to get it onto that, the level, they'll allow people, they'll set a goal. And let's say you set a goal of $5,000, right? And people will back that and they'll give you money, make a donation of $35, $55, whatever.
That's nice.
Whatever, and fulfill that. And then a lot of times your backers, they'll get, typically get extra product and everything like that, or get some type of VIP treatment for that. And a lot of times,
like an incentive of some sort.
So a lot of time when you have those people that believe in you, those people that kind of want to support you past the, but they're like, okay, Blythe, I really want you to do this. Or in their case, they're like, man, vinyl records are awesome. It's expensive to do, especially it's not like the main form of media now, so you got to do it. So that's how they managed to do that, which I was like, cool. I'm used to it when it comes to writers and everything using it. But in the music space, I was like, that's something I'm not too familiar with, but I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think it's like I said, it's a resourceful way of doing something. And you got to get, you can't just be creative in your craft. You have to be creative in presenting it and getting it off the ground. Like it's when you're a creator, you're creating breathing. You're creating how to manage your life. And
to it.
Yes, it
is. So I want to give you an opportunity to kind of share with people, share with your fans, your new fans that you've gained through this amazing interview and that amazing performance. I want you to give them basically what can they look forward to from you?
Like I said, some new music videos, always new songs, live performances are coming up. There's going to be, up and down the coast, possibly even Arizona and Vegas. We're trying to get that going. And then I just have my website built. My really good friend of mine for years, she's been my friend for years. She's an incredible artist. She's done a lot of my tattoo work. She's designing a tarot deck for me. Her name is Sybil Souza. She's the baddest ever. Like there's like waiting lists in Japan for her to tattoo when she goes out there. She's incredible. She's designing me a 78 card tarot deck.
Interesting.
And she built my website for me, blythevermillion.com, super easy to remember. And it's going to have some merchandise on there. Little sweatshirts, crystals, kind of that esoteric, like spiritual, intuitive kind of stuff, because that's who I am at my core. And that's kind of what I'm working on this year. Is just basically more content, live shows, merchandise, tarot deck, just collaborations.
Well, that's awesome. Awesome. Well, I honestly can say that I truly, truly enjoyed having you here today. And that performance, I'm still like, I'm gonna be listening to that song like for a minute. That was great. Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure of mine to have you here. Check out blythevermillion.com. Right? Check out all the projects. Check out the YouTube page. Go to iconpresentspodcast.com to get a direct link. And also all the upcoming events, the guests, the blog posts, everything that we have coming out in the future. Thank you so much for joining me again.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to sharing this with the world. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't say it enough. All right, y'all take it easy. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check us out. Thank you.